Welcome everyone. It's Dawn Duvall with Shelley Stamp, and I am pre-recording this. Actually, this is my second go-round. I forgot to tell you all, we have a prior engagement this evening, and so I thought I better get because I already have the cards done, so I thought I better get this thing recorded. So just want to let you know that this, and I'll put this, you'll have already seen this information, but I am going to, it's probably going to run about an hour and a half because we're doing 3 cards, and some of them they're not hard, but there's a lot of coloring. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. If you're watching this for the first time, welcome. And if you're a reoccurring person that's watching, welcome again. I appreciate you all taking the time to come watch me. And if you like what you see, please make sure that you like my page and share the video. Since this is pre-recorded, once it's been finished, I'll go ahead and post it on YouTube. So right now it's just going to be on Facebook. So and I'll let the others know as well. So, okay, well, let's get started. Let me do, while we're waiting for others to get on, because we tend to have some that are running a little bit behind, I'm going to go over some of the information that has recently come out from Stampin' Up!, and I'm sure that you all are familiar with this, but we're in the midst of celebration, and Stampin' Up! Has just added the first, a couple of days ago, they've just added 10 more items to our celebration. So in addition to what's currently in the catalog, now these are on a, once they sell out, then they're no longer available. But here are the 10 new items, and I just want to show you these. We've got 2 card kits. We have the Kindness card kit. I'm starting from the left and going to the right. And then we have the Let's Party treat packaging kit, which is really cute. And then you're going to get 2 spools of the white frayed ribbon for a $50 purchase. That's 2 spools of that ribbon. That's pretty awesome. And then you also get the option of making, and these are all $50 purchases, you get the option of 2 different punches. This is the Essentials Tag Punch, and then this is the Songbird Builder Punch. And then you've got 2 embossing folders. One is Into the Clouds, and the other one is the Hive 3D embossing folder. And then there's a small package of the layering mask that we've used something similar in months past. And then this one, I cannot believe that they're actually offering this. This is a full pack of your 12 by 12 Enjoy the Journey paper. And this is the paper that has all the mountain scenes, the background tree scenes. It's just absolutely stunning paper as far as I'm concerned. And then for $100, if you don't already own the Eden's Garden bundle, you can get that bundle with a $100 purchase. So these are the new items that are in celebration. So keep in mind, so every $50 you order, then you can choose a $50 item, or once you get $100, then you can get the Eden's Garden. All right, so that's that. And then as usual, I have my new February's tutorial bundle. This is 44 tutorials. And I'm just telling you guys, these are myself with 43 other demonstrators. We have demonstrators throughout other countries involved in this as well. And to be honest with you, this is everything. Most of this is in the January to May or April catalog. We've got of course, the cute little owls, and we've got the seabird. We have, of course, the hearts one. We've got the rain and shine bunny. We have your layering or dioramas, and we've got the taco one here, the new taco one that one of the demonstrators, it's her $1 million stamp set that she got to design. So there's all sorts of things in here. It's great for inspiration, or you can actually copy and make the cards. That's up to you. All right, and then last but not least, every week with our Facebook Live, I'm running this special. So with a $35 order through my online store, and that's using this host code here, which is JSK3JAZJ. So JSK3JAZJ. You use that online in my online store, and I don't think you can see that. Use that host code, then you will get these cards, 2 of each cards for free. Now, the one thing that we need to keep in mind is that it's going to run from Tuesday night, so from tonight through the following Tuesday at 5 p.m. So before the next Tuesday live, if you place an order, of $35 through my online store using that host code, then I will send you the card kits for these 3 cards, but you'll make 6 cards. So everything will be cut, scored. The only thing that you will not have is the stamp set, but that can be added on if you would like to do that. Now you add the stamp set to your order, bump your order to $50. You're going to get everything that I just mentioned, and then you'll also get a free one of those free celebration items. And then if you go to $75 or more, then you'll get everything previously that I mentioned, plus an embellishment that you get that you can choose out of the catalog. If you get close to $100, you need to go ahead. We've got a great joining special this month. So for $99, if you want to get if you have a large shopping order, so for $99, you get to choose $175 in product. That is what? $76 for free in product. You can pick anything that you want. And if you want to get the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, the little mini one, then you can get that in addition to the $175 in product, and that would cost you $129. And I'd love to have you join my my Crafty Girls community. We have a nice time. I have ladies all across the East Coast, some out towards the Midwest, and I would love to have you join my team. No obligation to hold classes, no obligation to run it like a business. And if you join this month, February, and that's this offer runs out the end of this month, you will have until June, end of June, where you will receive a 20% discount on orders going forward through the end of June. And if you don't do anything, then at the end of June, the 1st of July, you just go back to being a regular customer paying full price. So I would love to have you join my community, and I just want you to know that the reason I'm sharing this with you is I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't, because I didn't want you to feel like, why didn't Dawn share that with me? Because I'm sure you hear about it, but why didn't I share it? Well, I'm sharing it because it's an awesome value, and 2, I want you to be a part of my stamping community. We just have a great time, and it's fun and it's therapeutic. So if you have questions, just message me, email me, however you want to do it, that's fine. All right, so let's get started because we've got a lot to cover tonight. And again, this is the host code, and it's posted on my page as well. All right, so you can keep track of that. All right, so today we're working with At the Pond. Now this is a host set. So if you place an order of $150, you get to purchase this at a discount. And this is 20 photopolymer stamps, and it's a 2-step stamping. So here's the frog with his body, and the same here. We've got a full dragonfly, and then you have the parts that you can make a dragonfly. We've got a heart with the center colored, the tongue with the tongue colored, and you can see the log that they're sitting on, some plants and flowers. So this is what we're going to work with. I'm going to show you 3 cards. It's such a fun card. And I don't know if you guys have gotten, in the last couple of weeks, what have we done? I've done birds, I've done turtles, and now we're doing amphibians. So we're doing frogs. So next week we will not be doing any water related type animals, but I just thought it was funny. That's what I've been doing. All right, so let's get started, and I'll give you the measurements as we go. So this will be the first card that we're going to make. All of these are really simple. There's just some that are a little bit more tedious because there's a little bit more pieces to it and some coloring. So this is using the Rain and Shine Designer Series paper, but isn't this cute? Now you can use any kind of circle. I use the retired stitched circle, stitch shaped circles or whatever it's called. And this is basic gray. It's, of course, we're going to put our white in the inside, but I always wait to do that. So this is at 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to go ahead and set this up here out of the way. And let me pull in our card stock. I went ahead and scored everything because I'm trying to save time. I did record this on Saturday, went through the whole thing, and when I went back to look at it, my camera was so close to the table, you couldn't really see what I was doing. So I'm redoing this again. All right, so 5.5 by 8.5. This is basic gray. Then we're going to take in a piece of Balmy Blue, which is 4 by 5.25. So let's go ahead. Nope, we're not going to do that yet. And then we're taking a piece of that Rain and Shine paper, the DSP, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. So as you can see, and if you're new here, we do our layering, and you just take 1/4 off if you want what we call a standard border. If not, then you can make them bigger or smaller, however you prefer. All right, and this is the back side of that rain paper. Isn't this pretty? That's Flirty Flamingo. All right, so we're going to layer this on here, and then I'm going to add some crinkled ribbon, our white crinkled ribbon. So let me get that on here and get that positioned. All right, so let's go ahead and get our ribbon. We'll add that. And we're also going to do some blending on two of the, this card and, no, I think just this card. All right, so as I've shown before, if you want to measure your ribbon, if you're going to tie a bow, just wrap it 4 times around the width of however you're going to do your card. And then that will tell you how much you need to make your card without using a lot of excess. All right, so we're going to go ahead and tie a ribbon. Now, the first thing, what I'm going to do is we're going to tie it, but I'm not going to tie the bow yet because we're going to put our sentiment on this. And I want to make sure that we've got the sentiment tied. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this right now for that. And we're just going to leave it like that. Well, actually, we'll just lay it here because we've got to do some coloring. All right, so I'm coming in with my stitch circle. Let me get a piece of, I'm going to use this is the Stamparatus size grid paper. It's designed for the Stamparatus, but I like it because it's small. And I don't mind getting stuff on this, but when I'm doing the class, I don't want it to get busy and then it just kind of is distracting. So, all right, so we're going to take our Balmy Blue and, oh, I got all this stuff out and forgot to get the Balmy Blue. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Hang on. See, we're already starting. I thought I did pretty good about having all my colors because I got everything set up on blocks and all that stuff because it's a lot. We're doing a lot of stamping. All right, so we're going to take our Balmy Blue and we are going to color, and this is the card again. I'm going to color the background and then we're going to stamp the grass. I'm just going to do it in smoky slate, and then the frog we're going to stamp in pear pizzazz, and I forgot to do the heart. So I'm going to top excuse me, I'm going to punch one out of with a retired punch since I don't want to get the stamp and cut and emboss machine out. So I'm going to go ahead and just punch one, and I'll get that in just a minute because I'm going to have to get up again because I forgot and get a piece of polished pink is what we're using. So I'm going to try to make this kind of light. I may make it a little bit darker just because it is in the evening, so we'll probably pull this down just a little bit. And next week's cards are going to be really fun, so I will be back next week, I'm pretty sure. My husband, we have all these musical things that we're going to, and I did not have that on my calendar. Let me grab a scrap of polished pink. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and punch out the heart so that way we already have it. And bear with me 1 second. Let me grab that, punch that out, and then we don't have to mess with that. Sorry about that. Okay. And this is a little bit smaller than what I have there, but excuse me, it's going to work. Pardon me. Okay. I still have a little bit of scratchy throat. All right, we're going to pull in our smoky slate, and I've got my little the grass. Bear with me a second. I got to find it. Here it is, right here. I've got my blocks they're lined up back to back to back to back. So I'm just going to stamp some of these on here randomly, and I'm going to just make one a little bit shorter than the other. The frog's going to go in the center, so it really doesn't matter. He's going to cover up some of this anyways, but I just thought it'd be cute to have some of the dark grass in the background. Pardon me. All right, so I think that's good. We're not going to worry. He's going to cover this up, so I don't think we need to worry about that. All right, so let's set that over here. Now we're going to pull in our pear pizzazz. And we're going to do the frog that is sitting. So I found as I was doing this on Saturday, I found that if we don't, it's easier if you stamp the outline of the item or the picture of the frog or whatever it is that you're stamping first. It makes it a lot easier when you go in to add the color of the body, because then you can see this one, and I'll show you. So we're going to stamp, oops, we need our black. You can see I line up the eyes, and then I line up the his I guess it's his knees or whatever right here, the frog, his legs sitting there, and then there's his feet. So I line up his eyes and of course his head, and then I get these two lined up to make sure I've got it straight. you know, where it's going to match. So I'm going to go ahead, and of course this is going to be fussy cut. And I could, whoops, lost part of his leg. So, oh, that's because he's not on there. Hang on a minute. I didn't get enough ink on him. So let's make sure we get him on there because we need his toe. Okay. And I added ink to everything because I've been using up a lot of inks with all these colorings that we're doing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and take our Pear Pizzazz, and we're going to take off this frog, and then we're going to add the body. So we want to get him on here, make sure I've got him good. And then we're going to ink him up. And what I'm going to do, I think this one, we're going to have another frog this color. So I think what I'm going to do, this one I'm going to do full strength, and then the next one we're going to stamp off and make it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to stamp, I'm going to hover over and get his eyes lined up, and now I can shift around to see where his knees or his legs or whatever you want to call them are. And I think that looks good right there. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that. And I think, and I didn't do any of these in advance, I probably should have, but we're going to fussy cut these out. So it will just take just a minute. It won't take that long to do. So let's get this cut out. But this is such a cute set. I really wasn't, when I bought it, I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this thing? But I thought it was cute, and I got it anyways. So I started looking around and found some people that had made some designs. So I've kind of taken what they did and kind of cased it and changed it up a little bit. But I thought they were really, really, really cute. I just love these guys. They're just so much fun, you know? And it's always fun to use something different. And this can be, there's no sentiments with the stamp. So it gives you the ability to use whatever sentiment stamps you have. You know, you can make this into a birthday. You can make it anything, a birthday, you know, thinking of you. You know, it could always be a get well, you know, the frog, whatever, you know. So it's really at your leisure, whatever you feel like making that card and whatever you want your sentiment to be. This one's going to be a love card. And I'll probably give this to my husband for Valentine's Day, because when I met him, I bought him this little, it's a metal, I don't even know, maybe it's silver, frog with, as I said, I joked I was single for so long that I kissed a lot of frogs. And so I told him he was my frog king. And the little frog that I bought him has a crown on his head. So he's going to get this. This card. All right, so we've got that. This is pretty simple. I'm going to lay him down flat because we're going to pop that up on dimensionals when we put it on our card. So we're just going to add some adhesive to the frog itself. Let me just kind of slide some of that over there and get my tweezers. And we're going to pop him down. I'm going to place him right with his feet right at the edge and put him like that. And we'll let him sit for just a minute. I'm going to pull him down just a tad. His little toes are hanging off, but that's okay. And then we're going to add this little heart. Of course, this is a lot smaller than the one that I had cut. The one that I had cut out was from the country bouquet. But this is a retired punch that I have, so it's fine. I'm just going to use it. All right, and then I'm going to add my little rhinestone to make it, give it a little pizzazz. Whoops, I'm sliding my heart around. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we've got to stamp the sentiment. And this, too, is from the country bouquet. Now, what we're going to do is I am going to take my sentiments, and we're going to stamp them separately. I've cut out this is from the Tasteful tag dies or something. I'm bad about that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the For You, because that obviously fits on my tag. And the next thing I need to do is I need to pop using one of our old, like a hole punch. And this is an eighth of a punch. Forgot to grab that. An eighth of an inch. So I'm just going to pop a little hole in the top, and that way we can get our ribbon in it. So I'm just going to pop that, put that over here. All right, so I'm going to ink up the For You, and this is just something you can do if you have a set and you're not sure it's going to fit, okay? So I'm going to stamp for you right here. Okay, now I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to come back because I need my block, and I've got the next word is for you with love, and hang on a second, I can't get all of that on here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to take my with, and I'm just going to ink up that first word because I can see with this with the photopolymer. I can see now. If you're using red rubber, then you can use your Stampin' Write markers. Okay, so I'm going to, and I got to get the little bit of the W. There we go. So we'll make sure there's nothing on the L. So I'm going to stamp with centered under the for you. Okay, and then we'll clean this, and then we'll come back, and then I'm going to do the love part, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to turn it and just do the LOVE all by itself with the ink, and you can actually see through it, so it really makes it a lot easier. And then I'll come over here, and I'll stamp the love right down at the bottom. So it all fits on there, and so that's something that just to keep in mind, that if you have other stamps that you want to use, and you don't want to use the whole thing, this is a great way to do it. All right, so I'm gonna put this ink off to the side, and now we're ready to put our card together. So let me move my trash out of the way. So let's go ahead and get our ribbon, and then we can add our sentiment to this. And I'm going to tie, like I've mentioned before, I'm going to tie my bow, or at least get it, and then I can slide it once I get it positioned, because I really want this over towards the left, because that's where our frog in the pond's going to go. All right, and I need to get some more ribbon over on this side. All right, so we're going to tie that, and we're going to feed this through here. So we're just going to put that right into here. And I'm just going to get a corner in it and then grab it and pull it through. Okay, so I've got that in there, and then I'm going to adjust that once I tie my bow, and then I'll come back, I can adjust my sentiment. All right, so we're going to tie our bow, and you know how that goes. We're going to adjust the size of it and all of that. So hopefully we can get all this done without a lot of extra work. Ta-da! Okay. All right, so that's way too big, and we're going to move this up a little bit anyways. So let me pull my tab tails down a little bit, and I think that looks good. Now, isn't that cute like that? So let's, I'm going to just trim this piece off just a little, and do a little bit more. Probably would look fine like that, but let's just cut it. I think that looks fine, and we'll bring this piece down. See if we can get him cut a little bit at an angle. I didn't bring my ribbon scissors over here, so see what happens when you don't use them. All right, so there's that. Now, the next thing to get this card finished up is to bring in our dimensionals, and we're going to pop him up on the card itself. So let's put, we're going to put 4 on here because we want to make sure that he stands up and doesn't fall over. See how easy this is? So keep that in mind. I mean, you know, we can make, sometimes we try to make such elaborate cards that it gets out of control. So this is just kind of like easy, gets back similar to the basics. And I can adjust this if I want the ribbon to go up a little bit higher or not, but I think I'm going to leave it about like that. But I'm going to prop the frog up so he's barely covering the ribbon. I'm going to put him right there. All right, so now we've got that done. So now we just have to add this to our card base, and then this card we will be done with, and we'll move on to the next one. So what do you think about that? Isn't this a cute card? So you can do this similar idea. And you know, the frog is, I think this set is found on, let me tell you what page. Oh, it's a host thing. And I think you get it. It's towards the end, the back of that mini catalog. And I think it's $14 when you do 150, so you'll get $15 and something of play money that you can get something, so you could get this basically for free. But isn't that cute? So there's our little frog at the pond. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and let's. I have so many of these cards, and I got 3 of them. Okay, so the next card we're going to be doing is this one here, Isn't this cute? I love these colors. And hang on a second, let me move this out of the way. All right, now this one, I'm going to use a different stamp. This is using the Ocean, oh shoot, hang on, what's the, I think it's called Ocean, hold on, it's right here. Ocean Front. And I believe that one is retired, but I saw this and I really liked it, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this card. And I've got to get the, hold on a minute, I need to get the birds because they're from the Sailing Away. Hold on, sorry. Wasn't thinking. Pardon me. Well, if I can find it. Oh, I thought I had it all pulled out. I forgot about the birds. Sailing, sailing, sailing. All right, well, I think we're just going to move on without the sailing. I think he's in this pile for, nope, I'm not using him for next week. Well, anyways, I had birds on it, but we're going to forget the birds. Hang on, I got a cough. Excuse me. But I use the birds from the Sailing Away. You can use any kind of bird stamp that you can come across. But I don't know what I did with that stamp. Pardon me. Let me get a sip of water. Pardon me. I thought I had all my stamps out and I had everything organized so I wouldn't be wasting time. And here I am doing just that. All right, well, we're not going to worry about the birds. So, okay. This is a piece of Coastal Cabana. And this is using a piece of Pacific Point. And again, this is 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm still trying to find that thing. But, oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so you can put some birds on there from one of your stamp sets. And I'll add it after we get done, so, but not to hold you up because this is going to take longer than expected. So, okay, so there's our card base. We're going to set this off to the side. And I'm not going to add this because, again, when I do my stamping, I like to add everything, glue it on top and all that. So we're going to work with this piece right here. And I do need, so the first thing I'm going to do before I stamp is I've got some scraps here because I need to stamp my frog and I'm going to stamp the frog and this plant and the dragonfly, and we're going to cut those out. Okay, so I want to get those brought in. So let me bring in all of these guys here. So these are all the ones that we're going to use. Let's get the black ink out. So we're going to stamp this guy. We don't want that one. All right, so nope, we're not going to use that in black. All right, so we're going to stamp the dragonfly there. And what else do I need to stamp? Dragonfly. Oh, we got to stamp the frog. So let's get Mr. Frog on there. And this one, we're going to stamp in the Pear Pizzazz, but we're going to stamp off a little bit so he's got a little bit lighter color. And, oh, I need this guy. So let me I'm going to stamp him. I'm just going to stamp him in Early Espresso. So let me get my colors in here. I got my stack of ink pads over here, so let me bring those over. All right, we're going to do Early Espresso. I don't think I need that piece right there. All right, so let's stamp this one. Now, there is one that you can color this in, and I will do that right now. So we're going to take that piece, and we're going to stamp that on top of this. Let's stamp off just a little because it is a little dark. And we're going to put that right, I don't know if y'all can see. I just love this when you can just see right through it and place your stuff in there. And it's off a little bit, but that's okay. All right, not a problem there. Okay, so that's the Early Espresso. We're going to set him over there. We're going to pull back our Pear Pizzazz. And give me one moment. I just want to clean the ink off so that when we get ready to use these for the next stamp, I have them ready. All right, so we're going to stamp that. Okay, now we're going to take our frog and we're going to put the body on here, and we're going to use our Pear Pizzazz again, and then this time we are going to stamp off one small amount so that, wait a minute, I'm looking for my, what did I do with my, hang on, I know I brought it down here. I'm looking for my beige Stampin' Blend. And where did he go? Oh, there he is. He's up top. So, sorry about that. Oops, sorry. There goes my head. All right. So let's, before I do that, I'm going to color this guy. This is in the crumb cake. So I'm just going to color this little, I think this is a cattail or something, right? We'll color that. All right. So let's bring in our pear, Pizzazz, and let's stamp our frog. And then we're going to stamp off, I'm just going to lay it down lightly. I'm not going to take a lot, just a little bit. And again, we're going to do the same thing with covering up, getting his eyes lined up. And I'm going to hover over the eyes, and it looks like I've got his knees, or whatever you want to call them, his legs in place. Hang on. Looks like we might be good right about there. I think I'm off just a little bit. Yeah, we are, but that's all right. That's fine. I don't think anybody's going to notice that, do you? I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Okay, and let's color our dragonfly. I'm going to color him, or her, whichever. And this is the dark. I'm going to color the body dark. And then I think I'm going to do, as I did the other one in blue, but I think I'm going to do Calypso Coral for the wings. And this is the light Calypso Coral. I just thought this might look, I know it doesn't have any Calypso Coral in there, but I just thought it would look prettier. Oh, I guess I better color his face in the blue, huh? That would probably be helpful. And that was the dark, so let's just do his little face. That was the light that I just used. Oh well, I better color that. Oh, well look, I left a wing out. All right, and then I'm gonna fussy cut these out, so hopefully it doesn't take that long. Okay, we got those done. Put that up there, and we'll cut these real quick, and we'll do our frog. Actually, I'm going to stop in just a second because I forgot to close my ink pad, and I don't want to stick my hands in there and get my arm covered in ink. And I don't think anybody's going to notice that we didn't get his legs completely covered. I think we'll be fine, and we'll just move that over here. So we'll just color this. So I hope you all enjoy these cards. I just think they're fun. And, you know, you can do whatever you want with them. Come up with any kind of ideas. And if you have this set, you make some cards, share them on our page. And let me get him cut out real quick. And, you know, sometimes you want to work fast, but you know you can't because then you mess things up, right? So we just want to take it easy because I don't want to cut his toes off, or whatever you call them. Okay, so I think, let me get this little piece right here. All right, there's that. And then we're going to chop this, we're going to cut this guy out. And this one should be pretty easy. There's not much to this little flower dude, or cattail. I think it's a cattail. Is that right, y'all? Is that, yeah, I think it's a cattail. I don't remember what the difference is between the pussy willow and a cattail. I always get confused about those two. I'm not sure why that is. I remember when we used to travel, not that we did a lot of that when I was younger, but I always remember coming across fields that had these cattails and the pussy willows, but I honestly always get them confused on which is what. And I'm assuming this is the cattail because that thing looks like a tail, right? So we'll just trim this up. And again, I stamped this in early espresso. And we could have added some pear pizzazz to give it some green and stuff. But, you know, he's out in the pond, so this guy's probably not has that much there. All right, so let's throw that away. We've got that. And then we'll do our dragonfly. Oh, and we got to do our sentiment. We'll do that next. And then that way we'll have everything cut out. And then we can just get everything put together. We're just going to fussy cut out that too. They're not anything fancy as far as the sentiments. I just stamped them, and we'll cut them out and stick them on there. And we'll almost be done. Whoops. Almost be done. Don't want to cut off his antennas. I got to be careful with that. Sometimes I get a little happy here. So we don't want to cut off the antenna. I'll trim up the white in just a second because I don't want to go in too close and then end up chopping off other things. So That's the only thing about fussy cutting is it can be time consuming depending on the picture of whatever it is that you're fussy cutting. Some of the little ones are a little bit more, seem like, because it's so intricate trying to get between the wings and everything, right? So let's just trim this guy up a little bit. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, so there's those, and we got our frog. And then the next thing we need to do, and I'll stamp it right here, is we've got our sentiment, which is right here. So I'm gonna stamp, let me get my black ink out. I'm gonna stamp hey there. I gotta figure out, I've got it upside down, so. All right, so we're gonna stamp hey there, right about there. And that looks crooked, doesn't it? Hang on, that's a little crooked. Let's straighten it up some. Let's try that again. We'll do, whoops, get some ink on him. That's a little bit too much ink. All right, let's do hey there. All right, so we'll use that one, and then let me grab another piece in here. There's the frog. Let's do that one. Oh, yeah, we can do this one. Do it at the bottom. And then we're going to do happy birthday. And I'm just going to cut these out with my snips. And I think that should fit right there. There we go. All right, so let's just do some quick trimming with this. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna, that one's a little, I'm just gonna cut it straight across. It's supposed to be fun and funky, so we'll, actually, we'll just cut that at an angle. Why don't we do that? And then this one, we're just gonna cut straight, and I'll just cut this straight as well. Not much that you can kind of loop-de when you're doing your fussy cutting. And then this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. This one, we didn't get a lot of ink on it, but it's okay. It'll be all right. Hopefully you don't see the stuff in the background. Once we get it on there, I think it'll be fine. And I think that looks good. Okay, so let's get this out of the way, get this out of the way, get all this out of the way. All right, now we are ready to move on with getting our card set and ready to go. So I'm gonna set these pieces off to the side. Now we're gonna bring in our piece of basic white, which is 3 3/4 by 5. And we are gonna bring in the Pacific Point and our Coastal Cabana. All right, so we're going to take the first stamp, and I've got them both on the same block, so let me move this off. And then oh, you know what? There's one other thing I forgot that we need to stamp, and we'll do that. Let me go ahead and stamp this first. Because then we got to do is the weeds and all that. Okay, this is going to be the this is going to be like the dark water when you're looking out from wherever it's dark. The water's darker, and then it seems to get lighter as you get closer to the shore. So this is going to be the darkish color. Now I used the same stamp on the card for the both. I'm going to change this one out to a little bit of a different design. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this right about here, and let me get this mat down here because I want to make sure I've got some good coverage. And we'll stamp that right about here. I wish I could find that stamp for the birds, but I don't want to hold everything up, so I guess we'll just do without birdies. Okay, so that's water. And then I'm going to come in with this other design right here. And this is probably supposed to be like land, but I'm going to have it kind of looking like the water's coming into wherever it's coming to. So let me take this off and put this one on. Let's cover up this ink here. And now we're going to do Coastal Cabana. So let's see what this does. And you know, it's fun. You just got to, just try it. It doesn't matter, right? When you send, nobody's going to know what this card's supposed to look like, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap the water in this light color, and we'll see how that goes. And then this is where our frog is going to go once we get his piece of wood. So that's kind of like the water's coming in. So I think that kind of makes it look a little bit better. I guess you really can't tell because the frog's covering everything. All right, so let me clean the ink off of this real quick. And then I'm going to come in with, I'm going to come in with this. and the crumb cake, because I just want to have a little bit like of like some, not dirt, but something that is going to cover where the plant's growing from. So I'm going to do this in crumb cake. Excuse me. And we're just going to ink a little. We're not going to put all of it. We're just going to do a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to do a light spot right there. And okay, so that's that. And that, hopefully most of that's going to get covered up. And then the next thing I need to do, which I forgot to do, is we got to have our log. So we've got to stamp our log, and we're going to cut him out too. Now I could stamp him on here, but since I got all these colors, we'll just go ahead and stamp it on. And we're going to use our crumb cake for that. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do the same thing. It's a two-step. So we're going to stamp the lined part, and I'm going to do that in crumb cake. And we'll just put it right here, and then I'm going to have to fussy cut that out, which that's okay. It won't take long to do. Okay, and then we're going to come in with the piece that's going to color it. And we want to make sure, see that little hump here on the log? It's kind of got like a little bow there. We're going to make sure that when we stamp this, we've got that lined up. So you can look at your color piece, and it's going to show you exactly what it has to, where you can put it. And again, I'm just going to hover over, and this is crumb cake, and we're going to place that right about there. Okay. And it's an old log, so, you know, it's however much pressure you put on your ink, it's going to make, but that's okay, right? All right, so let me get that off of that. I'm going to put all my, move these stamps out of the way so they're not getting in place of my others that we're going to be using. Okay, so let's cut this out real quick, and then we'll get, then we can, now we can put our card together. So I'm just going to trim this up. Maybe not quite that much white. And we'll come around. Let me get this out of the way. I don't I don't like when the long pieces get in my way of my fingers. So it's just easier to cut them off. And then we'll just come in here and just kind of go around it. All right, there we go. So let's move this over here. Okay, now we can start putting our stuff together. Now the next thing that we need to do though is we've got another stamp with some grass on it. And let me locate that stamp. Hang on a minute. I got so many stamps. I'm trying to figure out where. Oh, here it is. We're going to do this in crumb cake as well. Let me grab that. We're going to put this like wispy grass right here. We're going to put that there. I'm thinking it should be, maybe I should do early espresso. Let's do early espresso with that. That will probably look nice. And give me just a second. Where is my early espresso? Oh, there it is. I'm putting all the colors off to the side, and then I can't remember where I put them. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to stamp that, and I wanted this there because I want that to go right about like that. And I could have brought this down some. It's not as wide as that one, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to make it look like this is much closer. Okay, so I think that's all we're going to do with that. And I could stamp another one, but I think we're good. So let's bring in the piece that we just cut, and we're just going to glue that down. So let's bring in this guy, and we're going to glue this. Just put a little bit of adhesive on the back. We're going to lay it down flat because we're going to put our log on it and the frog. And the frog's going to get popped up. So, there's my tweezers. So let's go ahead and pop this one. I'm going to place this one right about here. Yeah, so that green, I probably should have done another. Ooh, I forgot, didn't realize that. Hang on a minute. We got to fix that part. I didn't realize that I should have probably stamped a little bit more of that one. This one's got a little bit of too much white there. So hang on a second. Let me cut this off. I didn't realize I left that on there. It looks a little funny. There we go. All right, so we're going to place this right about here. Okay. All right, and then we're going to take our log, and we're going to add that on here. Of course, you can see where I used my scraps of paper. And we're going to place this right about here. We'll do it like that. can be at an angle. It's fine. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to take our Froggy. Now, isn't that cute? Because he's a little bit lighter than the other one. So let's put some dimensionals on him because we're going to have him popped up as well. So again, we're going to pop him up and make sure he's all sitting pretty. We'll put 4 on him. He probably only needed 3, but we'll do 4. All right, and let's see. I think we're doing okay on time. All right, so I'm going to place this guy right here. All right, so he's going to go right about there. And then we're going to put a little mini dimensional on the dragonfly. And if you have the birds or any set of birds, just put some birds on there. I think that will be fine. I will add mine afterwards, but I'll show you where I have them on the other card. So we're just going to have him flying around like he's supposed to be. I don't know. Let's put him over here like he's coming in instead of up there. All right, now let's do our sentiments. We're going to put these on dimensionals as well. So let's bring in our minis, and we'll put 3 minis on this one. Probably should be using my tweezer. Actually, 3 is good. And then the other part is, hey there, we'll do 3 on this one. Isn't this a fun card? It really is a cute stamp set. And if you've got children or grandchildren, and they like watery animals, especially boys, you know. I'm trying to get, okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to take this. Actually, I'm not going to put this on there yet until we get everything else attached. And I always like to add my sentiments last. So I'm going to leave that sitting right there. And let's go ahead and put this. All right, so we're going to attach this. Let's see, what else? Is there anything else I need on here other than our dressing it up? All right, we're going to put him. And see, we could have probably put some more water. We could have done something down here. But since he's sitting on a log, I could have done, actually, we could do the dark and make it look like it's land right here. But I'm going to leave it white because that's how, I don't want to mess this up because I don't know if I can get it arranged, you know, get it placed on there correctly. So we'll just leave it as is, but we could always add the bottom part, that little piece of dirt, and add it where he's sitting like on a log near the grass, which we probably could do that. Let's see if that would work. Well, I've already got this thing on here. Let's see. Let's just see. If we laid this right like that, or we could even lay it like this, so it could be right up next to his thing and have some dirt right there. What do you think? I think I'm gonna leave it like that. It looks a little barren, but it's okay. I'm not gonna sweat that off. We're gonna put this down here anyways. All right, so we're gonna put our sentiment on here, and I wish I had my daggone birds handy, but it's okay. I'll add them afterwards, but just remember, I'll show you on the other one. Okay, so we're going to put the happy birthday. Hang on, I got stuff stuck to me. Let me move this. This little guy needs to be moved up because he's hanging off the edge. I know, getting a little particular here, but there we go. Let's just squash him in there. Okay, so we're going to put him here. So that kind of takes up that space. There we go. And then we're going to put this one up here. It says, hey there. All right, and then let's add a few little rhinestones, or let's see what else. We've got some other doodads we can add. Why don't we add a few? Let's see, do we want to do rhinestones or add some color? Oh, now it's stuck to my thing here. That probably wasn't smart, was it? There we go. These are the petal adhesive back sequins. So let's see, do we want to put any of these on here? I think I'll go with just the regular rhinestones. So let's do that. So let me get my scissors and find where my rhinestones are. They're right here. And we're going to add those. I'm trying to get my glue thing off. All right, so let's go ahead and add this to our card base first, and then we'll add our rhinestones. All right, so we're going to attach this. So I hope you all are enjoying these cards. I'm trying to do cards like a week in advance. So I already have next week's cards out and ready, and that's going to be fun. We're going to be doing a couple of different things. Same stamp set. I'm only going to use the one stamp set and show you different ways that you can use it, which I think is quite, that way you get more use out of your money, right? Get your money's worth. All right, so this looks a little barren, so let's put a little rhinestone there, and let's put one over here, and let's put a big one. Let's put one down here. How's that? All right, and then we, of course, we'll put the white piece on the inside. So there is our frog that's on the pond. Now the difference is I put this one, and I've got the birds right there. You can see that, but you can also see that this is a little bit bigger than the one I used here. But I really think I like this one. I should have just stamped it twice, but that's okay. I think I like that better. All right, so there's that card. So let's move on to the next one. All right, now this one we're going to do more coloring. Now we're going to use both frogs, and this is the one that we're going to be making here. And this is using the layering diorama, and I'm using the second largest, and we're going to use smoky slate for the frogs. Isn't that cute? And then this paper is from the Forest. It's in the annual catalog, I think, Forest and Friends or something like that. And then when I cut it off, I had a little strip, so I just added it to the inside of my card. All right, so let's get started and get this done. This is all stamped, so we won't have, the only thing we got to cut out is this. Okie dokie. We are using Old Olive. I'm going to put this off to the side for just a moment. And let's get our card. That's going to go on the inside. I've already got it scored at 4 1/4. So let's move this over here, and let's go ahead and get this burnished. All right, and then we're going to add this paper. I just thought this kind of looked like the back of a pond, you know, all the grass. This is the other side of it. So I think it's Friends of the Forest or something like that is the name of that. It's in the annual catalog. It's on the back side. Or I guess it could be the front side, depending on how you look at it. But I just thought this looks good, like it's the back of the pond. And these guys are just hanging out, having a good time. All right, so we're just going to lay that on there. That's 4 by 5 1/4. This one's pretty simple, actually, outside of stamping all of our stuff on here. Okie doke. So, did I show you? I did show you the card, right? This is what it looks like. I did show you that, correct? Let me bring it down here. I thought it's pretty cute. All right, so let's, I've got so many of each of them, I can't remember what. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pull in our Pacific Point, because we're going to stamp our water. So I'm going to pull this in, and then we're going to, let's do this. Before I do that, let me think. No, let's do our water. All right, so let's bring in the water. And I'll probably come back afterwards like I did on this one, and I kind of filled it in a little bit. So I am going to set my diorama kind of like that. So I'm going to put my ink, or the ocean water, or the pond water, whatever it is, I'm going to put it right about here. And then I'm going to come back later and I'm going to fill in. So actually, let's do that now, because I know I can do that underneath. So again, I'm just going to kind of stamp below it and stamp off. You know, it's just going to come off on the paper, right? And then we'll just turn this around, because I got the small one right here, and we'll just do a little bit right there. All right, so there's our water. All right, now we're going to come in. Let me get my other pieces here. Get all my stamps. All right, so now we're going to stamp our log, and we're going to do that in crumb cake. Do I want crumb cake? Yeah, but yeah, I think early espresso will be too dark. So let me find my log. He's over here somewhere. Here he is. All right, so let's do our log, and we're going to stamp it, and then we're going to stamp it off on each side. So I've got the log itself. Now one side has a like the circle of the wood circle. So we're going to ink this up, and it really doesn't matter where it goes. I'm just going to stamp this right where the water is, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stamp it again I'm not going to stamp this. I'm not going to stamp that. I'm going to stamp this with color, but I'm going to leave these open. So actually, I think what I'll do is, I think I'll put it like another log right here. Like he's got another thing. And then this one, we'll just stamp the same thing. We'll just do that again as well. And we'll just stamp that right on top of there and just kind of add to it. Okay. All right, so that's good. Now let's take and add our color. Let's take that off. And then again, we want to see how this lines up. So I'm going to flip this around. And actually we're not, because it's going this way. So I'm just going to color this part. I'm going to leave that one open. So I just got to make sure I've got this lined up. And it's going to be off just a little bit. Let me see, because that goes, hang on, this is going to go. Nope, it's got to go down here because that's where the little Humpty Dumpies are. So we're just going to stamp it right about there. Okay, so there is our logs in the water, if you will. All right, and now we're going to come in with both of our frogs and we're going to stamp them. So we've got one, we're going to do these in Smoky Slate. So let me bring in my Smoky Slate. All right, so let's take the one that's sitting. We're going to put him on here and we're going to do that in black. So let's get our frog where he's sitting. And I'm going to take the other frog, hang on a second, and I'm going to, give me 1 second. I'm going to lay him on here so I can just make sure I've got a good way of placing him, because I know his leg's going to hang on that other part. I'm going to place him right about there. I probably should have come down a little bit on the log down here because it doesn't give us a lot of room here, but that's all right. So I'm going to stamp this guy and I can move him over. So I'm going to stamp him. I'm going to stamp him right about here, like he's sitting on the log. Okay, and then we'll come back. Let's stamp this guy, and then we'll stamp them both with the green. So let's go ahead and get this guy on there, and we'll stamp him right about. I got to stand up so I can see. Make sure he's sitting on the log, right? And get his leg over there. Okay, we'll stamp him right about there. Okay, all right, let's cover this up. And let's bring in the bodies. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna clean off. Put that over there. And I'm gonna bring in this guy, and we're gonna do this, that's right, we're gonna do Smoky Slate. So let me clean off the other frog and get his part of his body on here. All right, and then we're gonna stamp in Smoky Slate. All right, so now you see in a lot of this two-step stamping, so you'll get the hang of it, right? All right, so we're gonna line up this guy. So I'm lining up his eyeballs as well, and then I'm lining up his knees and the way his feet are. I'm trying to get the knee, the way it's bent, and the toes. And I think we're probably not so good right there. Hang on a minute. I have to get closer, but I'm always afraid I'm gonna get too close and then hit the thing. I think we're good. Let's see, we gotta get his, no. Where's your foot? Okay, I think we are, I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. So there's that one. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this guy. So we're gonna get his eyes lined up and his mouth and get his rear end right. I think he looks pretty good too. There we go. Pretty good. All right. Now we can move on with our other stamping. Let's move all that out of the way. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we're going to pull in our plants again, because those we're going to use. And we are going to use the, let me put the picture over here. We're going to use the cattails. So we're going to pull that one back in, and we're going to do this again in the early espresso. We're going to stamp 2 of them. Oh, we got to do his tongue too. We're going to have his tongue out there giving her a little gift of a fly. Okay, so we're going to stamp one of these little guys, and we're going to put this right about here. And I think I'm going to color those with a little bit of Pear Pizzazz, just to give it some greenery. And this one is going to come off a little bit, so he's going to be like hanging outside of the water. And we will come in. Let's stamp, clean this off. Hang on one second. Let me grab the Pear Pizzazz. We'll do the light olive and Stamp and Blend. And I am going to stamp. Let me find that. Where is it? The leafy. Here it is. This one. Let's do. I'm going to do a little bit of Old Olive, and then let me think about this for a minute. Yeah, let's just do a little bit of olive. I'm going to stamp this a little bit green. I think that looks good. And then I'll come back and color the, yeah, that looks good. Give it some green. Okay, so we don't need our marker after all. And then I'll come in with our crumb cake, or I could do the early espresso. Let's just do this. We'll just put this in crumb cake. So I think they are lighter anyways, right? Okay, so we got that colored. Okie doke, let's move that out of the way. And let's move this out of the way. What else do we need to do here? We got our frogs, we got our water. And, oh, I forgot, we need to do another, oh, we got to do his tongue, because he's like giving her the tongue with a fly on it. And I did it in gray. I don't know what color his tongue, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to, I think I'll do it in black, and then we'll color it in with gray. I'll stamp the tongue with gray, because I want the fly to be black, right? So let's go in. We're going to just sit that right inside. I'm going to try to tuck that right in the mouth. So like he's catching a fly right there. There we go. All right, that was pretty good. And then we're going to come back with this guy, the inside. Let me take that off. And we're going to stamp the tongue. We're going to color his tongue. And we'll color that in the gray. I don't know what color the tongue's. Maybe we should let's just color it. Maybe it might be peachy. Let's color it with the Calypso. Why not? Let's just do his Calypso Coral. What do you think? Do you think his tongue, what color his tongue is? Let's make it a little color. We'll give him a colorish tongue. See if anybody notices why his tongue is that color. Okay. All right, so the next thing we need to do, actually, I think I'm going to come back and double stamp the inside of that flower, wherever. Let me find it. Hang on a minute. I know I'm taking up time here. There's the flower. Where's my insert of the flower? There's my flies. Oh, here it is right here. I think I'm going to come in with a little bit. I'm going to stamp off of the early espresso. I think I want to have a little bit more dark. And I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to come on and kind of offset. Yeah, there we go. And I'll just redo that one like that. There we go. That'll be fine. Okay, now the next thing we've got to do. We're almost done on this one too. Oh, this isn't too bad. This is a lot less than it took me on Saturday when I did this. All right, so we got to stamp our flies. So we are going to, we don't want that one. Yes, we do. We are going to take our flies and we're going to stamp them. And they are going to be hanging right over, let me do them this way. Wow, hang them right there. So they're coming around. And I don't think we need any more flies. I think that's good. And we want to do a dragonfly, right? Because it looks kind of naked. So let's do a dragonfly real quick. Let me pull him in. And another scrap piece of paper, which I just so happen to have right here. And we'll stamp. And we're going to color him gray with whoops, make sure I got that. Okay, we're going to stamp him with Smoky Slate and the Olive. So he'll kind of be in with the color scheme. So we're going to take that and let's see. All right, let me get my Smoky Slate. We're going to take our Smoky Slate light and do his body. I don't know what color I know dragonflies really are kind of clear, right? Other than their wings. So I don't know. I'm just going to color him that way. And then we're going to color the wings. We're going to just do the old olive so it kind of pulls the other colors in. And I'm just doing the one color. This is the light. We could have done the dark and did all of that, but I'm not going to. And then we'll just do this part. Make those green. We'll just do whatever we want. Okay, so let's fussy cut this dragonfly out. All right, so make sure you leave me some comments of what you think. And if you like the video, make sure that you share it. I would greatly appreciate that. And don't forget, if you place an order through my online store, I will send you all of the card kits and all of these pieces, with the exception of the stamped images, which is means you have to really have the stamp set if you want to make these cards. So that's the only difference. You're going to have the stamp set to make the cards. But it's a cute one. Or if you would like, if you place an order, I can make the cards and then send those to you, and they'll be finished cards. I can do that as well. So if you like that, then that's fine. Just let me know. So if you do place an order, then shoot me an email and let me know that you want the cards completed, and then I'll make sure that I make them as pretty as possible for you, and then you can send them out to your friends. Okay, let me just trim off these antlers, or not antlers, his little, whatever those things are called. Antlers, yeah, they're antlers. Oh, no, they're not antlers. Antennas. I always forget what things are called. I don't know why that is. Okay, so let's see. We're going to pop him up on dimensionals, or a dimensional. We'll do a little one. Put him right in the center. Oh, I got two on my fingers. Well, we'll put two because he's got some room right here. Hang on a minute. It's stuck to my fingernail. Put them side by side. Okay. All right, so we'll take that off. Hang on. There we go. All right, so let's put that right about there. So he's coming in to see what's happening. All right, I think that's pretty much everything. Is that not? Whoops, he got right there. Let's see, is there anything else we need other than we'll do our sentiment? So let's go ahead, we're going to pop him up on dimensionals, and then we'll add our sentiment. And let me find my large dimensionals. So we're going to put several on here. Since it's a larger piece, we just want to make sure that it stays and doesn't fall in the center. Oh, the dog's moving around. I don't know what she's up to. Whoops. We'll put, oh, here she comes. What you doing there, baby? She's been laying down sleeping. Lazy dog. And she's hearing people. All right, so we're going to place these in here. So let me take the backings off and get this on here, and then we'll finish our inside. Bear with me a minute. Taking all the, I put so many dimensionals on here. I probably put 8 of them. Yep, I think I got them all off. All right, so let's place that right about there. And I put a little crooked, but that's fine. I want his wing is hanging over, so I want to make sure it doesn't go too far off. And then the next thing we need to do is we're going to stamp the For You. So we're going to go back to that stamp that I used from the country. Let me find it. The country, here it is. The country bouquet. And again, we're going to do that in our polished pink, just to add a pop of color. And we got a little scrap right here, so we'll stamp it and then we'll cut it out. And we'll just do a little tiny For You. All right. Because he's giving her a fly or him a fly, whatever it is. Okay, so let's cut this. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna cut this out. I don't know if I can do that. Let's see if we can get the angles done. It might be a little tight, but let's try it. We'll do it that way. And cut this down just a tad. And we can do this one this way. There we go. And we'll stick this. I think I'm gonna lay this on here with just adhesive because it's already popped up, so I don't want to add any more dimension to it. So we'll lay this right at the bottom of the water scene so it gives it a little pop of color. How's that? And we'll just do that right there. All right, so let me get the other cards. Oh wait, we got to do the inside of the card. Hang on. So let's add this strip here since this was a piece that we had cut off. So let's add this to the inside. That way it coordinates with our card itself. You know, people love when they get cards from us that are like the envelopes are decorated and the insides are decorated, because you know, you don't get that for the most part, right? Unless you're somebody that does stamping. I don't think the stores do. I mean, you might get some stuff like that, but not. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and just add our adhesive. Get this into the inside of the card. And then we are good to go. And we'll plop that right down inside of here. And get that in there. All right, so that kind of pulls it all together. All right, so there's this card. Yeah, let's get this out of the way because that's busy. Here is the host code again. I'm gonna slide this down. So if you decide you want to place an order, there's the host code. And then let me grab the other froggy. And oh, we didn't put a diamond on this one, did we? Oh no, that's the other one. Let me see. Oh no, we did. That was the other one. Okay, so here are the 3 cards that we've made. Aren't they cute? And this is using the At the Pond stamp set with several others. This is the oceanfront, and then most of these are all. Aren't they cute? I just think they're adorable. So we've got the two frogs here, and the smoky slate, and we've got these in pear pizzazz with it raining. All right, so there you go, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget this Saturday is our creation anticipation. I will post, and that's Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be on my Facebook page, not the VIP page, but the Facebook page, and it will be streamed to YouTube. I will put a sketch out on Thursday, and for those that may not be familiar with it, Creation Anticipation is just a time that we come together and kind of stamp together. I do a Facebook Live. I post a sketch, so if you want to create a card with your materials and your stamps using that sketch, then we will show them and we'll post them on the page so everybody can see what everyone's done. So, all right, that is it. Thank you so much. We've gone over about maybe 15 minutes or so. That's not too bad. So thank you again for watching me. I apologize for not letting you, I let you know sooner, but anyways, thank you. And I'll see you all Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Creation Anticipation. And I'll put that post out on Thursday, and I'll send it again on Friday. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed these cards at the pond, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye now.